Hello guys, here we are at the start of Uvati Vitar cross-country marathon race on the island of Brač, which starts from a small picturesque town of Dostupan. Uvati Vitar has 3 routes. I decided to race the one called Vitar, which is 40 kilometers long with roughly 1000 meters of climbing. Start was not ideal as I started from the back, and this shows how important it is to start as close as possible to the front. This way you will avoid pushing and giving a lot of energy to connect to the leading group. As you can see, leading group is already up front and I needed a good effort to connect with them. First few kilometers of the race are flat, so my plan was to stay with the fast group and save some energy riding behind them, hiding from the wind. From the course profile, it's evident that there is a long climb with a few short downhills and false flats coming up. It turns out climb lasted around 45 minutes. I knew I would not be able to keep the tempo of the faster riders like Marko Fržov, who led the race from the beginning, but to keep my own tempo on the uphills. That way I could pace myself properly for the entire race. Positioning in this race was key, because often you would approach a single trail uphill or a downhill from a wide fire road, and that would act like a filter where you could easily lose a few places. This is one of those fast and fun uphill trails, but there is no time or place to rest. You keep on pushing, hoping nobody in front of you will stop. For this race, I decided to go with my full suspension S-Works Epic, and I think it was a good decision in the end. Racing this terrain on a hardtail would be much more difficult. What you can see from the video, downhills were quite loose rocky fire roads where you needed to be careful not to slide off the track or get a puncture. After first short downhill, we continue climbing. I'm setting my power to be around 380 to 400 watts average, and we are catching up with the group up front. At this point, leading group did split quite a bit. On the long uphills, it's easy to go too hard and to overcook yourself too early. So from my experience and what my tactic is often, to start a bit more conservative and then finish stronger. What I also often find helpful is to find somebody in front of you who is maybe just a bit stronger than you on a climb and stick to his wheel. I did connect to the group in which were Antonio Barisic on the left, Relvis Glavic from Novigrad in front of me on the green bike, and Mario Matulovic in the white jersey up front. After a short and fast descent on the loose gravel road, we turn right to the first proper technical downhill. Unfortunately, Josip Žugec crashed and got injured, ended up with some stitches and had to retire from the race. That crash was a shock for some riders, including myself. So most riders up front went too slow and too safe on the downhill. And some climbing, some technical, some steep, and we are reaching the highest point of this race. Downhill mostly on loose double track roads towards the town of Milner. Here you need to be careful not to do a mistake on a very fast downhill or to have a puncture on the sharp rocks. Dropper seat posts help a lot on these downhills. Most of the time, after a long uphill, you're rewarded with some stunning views. Now it's time to get your heart rate back down, rest a bit and recover. And yes, indeed there were some really nice views of surrounding islands and towns beneath us. The only problem is, when you descend this fast, you lose all the gain altitude, and you will need to get it back again. We are in Milner, passing the second feed zone and trying to navigate the trail. This was probably one critical spot to mark the trail. Organizers had problems with random people taking down markings, so here we got lost and lost a little bit of time trying to navigate our way.
Kamo? Ha? Jel tu? Jel tu?
Kuda idemo?
Tamo? Neka tu nešto, ništa, a?
Jebo, ti imaš kila, ideš ko meni.
Hvala. Dolje. A da tu nisu mogli staviti još koju strelicu. Ide, da? 1,5 km.
Exit of Milner. Here is probably the steepest uphill
Šta je
of
ovo?
the whole race, starting at around 15% and ramping up all the way to almost 30.
Sredinu drži, imaš tu traku.
Fast forward to the last third of the race. Here I am with Patrik Bogovic, great cyclist from Varaždin, who was here with his brother Denis, who later ended up winning the race. Another long uphill on the cobbled streets of small town Ložišće.
Ravno, pa onda oštri lijevi će biti. Nekad brzo. Šta smo? A je, a?
I'm showing the whole shot of this climb for our friends abroad who haven't visited Croatia to see what they are missing. Small towns like these are absolutely stunning in view.
A desno.
Skipping a bit more forward to the last 5Ks of the race. On the last technical downhill, just before this shot, Patrik and myself caught up with Hrvoje Lisac. Downhill was followed by a beach single trail where Patrik managed to pass Hrvoje just before entering single trail and managed to put some time on me. I managed to pass Hrvoje and catch up on Patrik right before the small uphill. Here, I decided to attack and give all that I had. I was looking back, Patrik was not following, and I managed to get the last 3 flat kilometers in front. entering the town of Sutivan and riding across the finish line, third overall and second in my age group behind Patrick's brother Denis.
Hvala. Evo ti Bunes je tu. Da. Ajmo Burki! Svaka čast.
Mjeseca si dužni.
Mogu biti sur.
A lijepo odi tamo sis na ovaj električni bicikl i ajde odi gore u brdo,
Uvati Vitar was my first race on the island of Brač, and kudos to the organizers who managed to take a different approach to the race, making it a proper full-day experience with a big bike expo, live band, and fun lottery in the evening after the race. You could see that the whole town was enjoying and living along with the race. For sure, a place and a race to come again.